Ready?
Welcome to our podcast. I am Cody Stokes.
And I am Sarah Stokes. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here. Today, we are going to talk about sales, being in sales, and also being in social media, and what that means when you're married and how to deal with it, right?
So the title
Okay.
is Navigating Careers That Involve Social Media and Being a Public Figure. Okay?
Okay. We're in the public. I'm not exactly a public figure. I don't think you are either.
Not like to the sense that we're like famous, but like
right.
We have jobs that are out in the public and people know who we are, and so we're in and we solicit business. So yes.
Okay, so when we do that, I guess you're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there for the trolls, right? But you're also putting yourself out there for the creeps. So I'm not saying this man I'm about to tell you about is a creep, but he might be. My husband thinks he is. Today, we had a little bit of a tiff arguments.
It wasn't even really an argument. It was kind of just a like
heated conversation. Okay, so first of all, women. I mean, I think we experience this probably more than men do. I mean, I could be wrong.
100%.
And if I am wrong and you're watching this, gentlemen, please let me know, because I'm sure there are, I mean, for lack of better words, trashy women who will throw themselves at your man. Okay, so I know that. I am well aware of that, and I will cut her. Okay, but I think on a regular basis, it probably happens far more often to women than it does to men. So today, a gentleman, I don't know if he's a gentleman, my dog, a man messaged me on Messenger. So I guess it was odd. Actually, I'll tell you, it was a real like 3 days ago maybe, and I had 3 men message me on the same day. And they were all men that I have talked to. Well, I can't remember the third one, but the one man I have talked to about a mortgage before. So it was about my career. But they all 3 messaged me on the same day. And I thought that's odd, because it wasn't a provocative in any way real. It was probably talking about an event or something. I don't know. Maybe I was being silly. I'm not sure, but it wasn't anything. I wasn't wearing anything inappropriate or anything like that. And so this gentleman messaged me that day, and then today he continued on with the conversation. They were really short. I answered in like 1 or 2 words. Okay. And then I didn't really ask for any feedback. He asked me what I did for a living, and he knew what I did for a living because he messaged me right after the reel went live. And I told him. I didn't ask him what he did. He told me what he did. And then today, that was 2 days ago, today he asked me, could we get coffee? And I waited 3 or 4 hours because I really didn't know what to say. And I mean, I thought, well, if he wants to work with me, I mean, I should give him the opportunity to like maybe tell me he wants to work with me. So I waited, nothing. And I was like, I'll just, I think this is maybe a creep, but who am I to think that somebody would want to like go to coffee just with me, for ulterior motive. And anyway, Cody says that's exactly what he wanted to do, is to go to coffee with me. So I gave Cody my phone. He didn't ask for it. He doesn't check my phone or anything like that. But I was like, look at this. I don't know. What do you think? And I gave him the phone. And he was like, yes, 100%. This guy is inappropriate. He just wants to hang out with you. And then he was looking through and he's like, why did you even say that it was a good idea you would go to coffee? And I'm like, I was just trying to put him off. I'm not going to coffee with him. I don't want to date. I don't want to go out with him. I got a husband. I wasn't flirty with him in any way, was I?
Not at all. Not at all.
But he was saying I should have shut it down. And I get that. I should have shut it down, but I didn't know, because here I am, right, in sales, in the public. So you got to be nice. And I think when I realized it, I gave the phone to my husband, and he clarified it for me that it was inappropriate. I mean, he didn't say anything like overtly inappropriate.
That she was inappropriate or
me.
He was inappropriate, but it would have been had she had coffee with him, and she wouldn't have. But some men, not all men, there's plenty of good men out there that don't message women randomly all the time, and if they get attention, just the attention of a message back, for some men is like, oh, she's into me. Like,
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Ask there. Yes, there are men that think if a woman smiles at you and makes eye contact, that he thinks he has a chance.
Wait, I had a friend one time and we had to stop being friends because she was like that. She was a little delusional. It was scary, actually. Very scary. But you're saying men are like that even when they're not really scary and delusional.
They're just like that
oh,
because men
that's bad.
like women. That's the thing. Like ask any man this and say the same thing. Women can have sex whenever they want, literally with any man. Men not so much. It's not like that. That's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
men that aren't maybe necessarily good looking, in good shape, don't have money, whatever, and haven't had a lot of women in their life or female relationships in their lives. Those are the ones that are the most like sad, unfortunately. And so when a woman is nice to them, they take it the wrong way because they're not used to that.
Well, I think that goes for women too. I'm just referencing people that I've known in my past. Saying the women that don't have relationships, they think a man is all into them, and he might be using them for money or a car or whatever, and they just think that he's into them, and then he breaks their heart and he leaves after he uses them, or even for sex. He might just use them for sex and then be gone. But yeah, so there's a similarity there, but
I think, but the scale is much larger for men than women.
And men are more, by nature, aggressive. They're more courageous. They're more bold. They're stronger. They've got testosterone. So they're going to reach out more, right, than women will. I mean, there's some skanks out there that might reach out to you and I'll cut them. But yeah, I mean, it happens. It absolutely happens. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I mean, they could want a loan. I just need to be nice to them. I'm a lender. I mean, but there's a line. And
Well, you can refer them to a realtor, right?
yeah, I can refer them to a realtor. But and the realtors have a app where they can screen people.
Yep.
But some of these guys that are just they're hitting on you and they're being flirtatious. They might not be on that app, right? So they're not going to do anything. I mean, there's nothing like they're not going to assault a woman.
Most of them are I would say pretty harmless.
So the app that the realtors have will screen for, like, I think sexual assault, maybe other criminal charges, and that's it. So they're still going to have to do the same thing I have to do. It's like kind of weed them out. Like, are you real or are you just wanting to go hang out with me? And I think women, tell me if this is right. I think if I get in my head and I'm like, I think he just wants to have coffee with me because maybe he thinks I'm cute or something, then I'm very insecure about it. I'm like, no, why would he think that? That's silly. That's ridiculous. Who am I to think that he would just want to go hang out with me and have coffee with me? So inappropriate, Sarah. Who do you think you are? A little humility. And then I get in my head and I'm like, no, that's not what he's doing. So I'll just, reply back. So that's one of the real and true reasons why I probably didn't shut it down in the very beginning. And he's been messaging me for how long? A year?
Yeah, over a year.
So that's probably why. But my husband has told me that it's definitely not okay, that and he's right. I mean, I gave him the phone because I knew there was something off.
Well, and I told her, I mean, if I was getting, those messages from somebody, a friend on Facebook. I have 9,000 friends on Facebook. Not really. But
I was like, geez, you got quite a following. You need to utilize that.
Probably 900, but like I would say 20-30% of them I know, and the rest are like friends of friends or
it's business.
Business. Yeah.
Right. Same. I'm probably associated with this person. I thought it was because of yoga because we have the same the same women that were in yoga when I was doing yoga. And not, I guess not. He might just friend all the yoga girls. I don't know.
And it happens to me occasionally, or I'll get a friend request, and then they immediately will say, but I'll look, if I don't have any mutual friends, denied. Look, oh, they're from Singapore, they're from Nepal, and we don't have any mutual friends, and their photos are shady. No, deny.
I get those. I get those same ones from women. It's weird. Yes.
Yeah, and then occasionally there'll be somebody that I have a couple of friends, and I'll say accept, and then I get immediate, hey, how are you doing? What do you do? And I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay, delete. Because otherwise, what am I like? Oh, I'm going to engage and have a conversation with somebody that is probably not even the person that's on that page, and who cares?
Right.
I've got I don't have that kind of time to engage with some complete stranger, but for business, if it comes in for business, that's one thing. You think it is potential business, but you can figure out pretty quickly that it's not. So what have you encountered, and have you encountered this, and what do you do when this happens? If you're in sales or service industry or a service, some sort of service where you're dealing with the public, what do you do when somebody is mildly inappropriate or wildly inappropriate? Because
goodness,
there's both.
There is both. I've experienced both.
I have too. Not as much as her, but mild can go to wild really quick. And so when do you shut it down? But especially when there's money involved, it's your livelihood. What is your soul worth? Right? That's the question. Because we're all trying to grow our careers, build our businesses, support our families, and when there's money involved, it can get a little like, well, don't compromise. Not for me either, but
okay.
But I'm saying it does happen. You've worked with people in the past that you were like, they were inappropriate, but you were trying to build your business. You didn't do anything with them, but
I was overtly, explicitly asked.
Yeah,
very specifically. You can't just to do this and this.
You can't even say it. It was that bad.
It was that bad.
But it was before we were married, but we were together, and it was still like she was needing to build her business, and this guy was a big player. It could have helped her career, not to do the things with him because she wouldn't do that, but just to be in the same room with him and try to distance herself, and but
ultimately I had to just walk away.
Yeah.
From the business relationship, from any that wasn't a friendship, but anything at all. I just walked away.
He would eventually, tried to cross the line.
Predatory sort of.
Yeah,
stuff.
very, very much so. So that's where you go. I'm worth more than that, than to allow somebody like this to.
I think that one's easy, but the ones that are not as easy are the subtle ones, and you're like, I had no idea. What about the ones that are in person, right? The situations that are in person. And then, I had a massage therapist one time. She said that a very much older gentleman came in. And he finished while she was massaging him.
Oh my gosh.
And she, I don't know. I don't know. She didn't do anything to deserve that. She was literally just doing her job, and it was totally inappropriate. So
how's that even happen?
I don't know. I'm not a man. I'm been years and years and years.
Was he on his stomach?
I don't know. I didn't know all the details.
Good for him. Bad for her, but good for him if he can do that. I don't know what he's doing something.
I don't know. That's what she said. Maybe I don't know man's body. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I know my body, but it's
pretty.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah,
superhuman.
He could do that. He must have been very neglected for many, many years.
Okay, so how do you guys handle it? You have any tips and suggestions? I could use them. I could definitely use them. Probably just be practical is the biggest one I've taken from this whole day's experience from my husband.
Yeah. And it's not a new one for us necessarily, because stuff like this has happened, but like this is new in the sense of like.
Well, I've just started doing more social media in the last year.
More like intentional, aggressive social media. So it's like
I'm putting myself out there more and more and more.
So it will. I said this tonight. We were talking about it. I said
we're gonna have to get thick skin.
We're gonna have to get thick skin because we're both gonna be, out there more. With the podcast and the newsletter and the blog.
Oh, we're gonna start a blog.
Yeah. So. I mean, you said you wanted to.
Not today, another day. But yeah, so all right. Well, this was great. It's a short podcast, but that is what you're going to take away today. Is it happens to everybody, and I want you to intentionally think about your solution, and if you could share it, that would be amazing. Share it with someone in your office. Share it with us. I just wonder how many people are experiencing stuff like this. So
Yeah, and you can email us at
Cody and Sarah talk at Gmail. Cody and Sarah talk at Gmail. Yeah.
yeah, send us your questions or feedback, or share if this has happened to you, what you've done, and other interesting topics that maybe you want us to talk about and share.
So if it's a really good story and you want to share it in person, we are in the Asheville area weekly. We are in the Charlotte area weekly. And if we're not there, we can just Zoom with you. We'd love to interview and hear more.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you again for joining us. Have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on when you're tuning in. So thanks again, and adios.
Bye.